Can you imagine the uproar? So he actually had a collar on and he was in a protected national park. This guy paid $55,000, whatever. And these guides actually lured the lion out of the park. Then he shot it with a bow and arrow. And they skinned it, they beheaded him. Like it was really so terrible. Okay. Now, had it been a normal lion, no one probably would have known about it. It was Cecil, he had a collar on, it became a big hoo-ha. This dentist, Walter, had his practice Facebook page, the dentistry where he works, which had his address, telephone number. He had Yelp reviews, which is like our Hello Peter. And then the onslaught just began. Okay, so I actually had to be so selective because like really the language that was used. So all I did was draw Sharon Osbourne's tweets. Sharon Osbourne, you know, it's very little about Africa.
People follow her.
I don't know,
Yeah.
lots. Lots. When he dies, I hope someone mounts his ugly ass head to a wall. Walter Palmer is a coward. I hope that Walter Palmer loses his home, his practice, his money. He has already lost his soul. Walter Palmer is Satan. I don't know how anyone could go to this man for dental services after this. He's a killer, beware. Okay, but it got worse because there were crowds outside his dentist office. His business is now closed down. It's no longer operational. Facebook advised him to remove his Facebook page because of the abuse he was getting. And then obviously Yelp reviews. They actually hired people to sit and delete the Yelp reviews, but as they were deleting, because people didn't have anywhere else to go, they just kept coming up. And I mean, the comments are, you think Justine had it bad. Like, this guy has it 10 times worse.
It's just sad though, okay, it's like, it's not sad, but I mean, as you said, like, it was just he had a lion, but, you know,
we don't know how much he knew. Did he know that he was shooting a protected lion? Did he know that they were illegally pulling the lion out of... We don't know any of that.
It also touched on an extremely sensitive nerve with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those particular topics that is a highly sensitive topic. Racial things,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's
And-
all-
And poaching is so hectic.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was just, I feel for this guy because they went and they vandalized his house, they wrote things all over his house, they had posters with the lion hanging outside his. It was just, I mean, this poor guy, I don't think he's left his house in weeks. I'm surprised that no one's like tried to blow up his house.
well, because my dance teacher, she's very involved with the anti-rhino poaching and she's doing a whole bunch of campaigns for the wildlife. And BBC phoned her and she's like, okay, I don't know enough on this topic.
Yeah.
And passed it on.
It's hectic. And it was world news. World news. This guy's life is destroyed. I can promise you now, he'll never practice again.
He'll never hunt again either.
Won't he?
If he can't afford it, if he doesn't have the
Mm.
finances, he won't.
True story. Can I tell you what the sad part about this whole thing is? From what I understand about poaching, is that the money that comes in from poaching is put back into conservation and research.
Well, from hunting, not poaching.
Or from hunting, sorry, not poaching. Ooh, wrong word.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposed to be.
No, they are pretty strict constraints.
They are,
My dad's a hunter, but I hate it. Don't get me
I
wrong.
was about to say, there's people who don't hunt to put money into conservation. It is a way
Yeah.
to justify things. What happened to this guy is a very sad thing for him personally.
Yeah.
But what it's done, in actual fact, there's a lot of positive that's come out of it because it's highlighted what hunting is about. It's highlighted an issue in conservation and what hunting is actually, and it contributes to justify to poaching and to conservation. But what the hunting community justifies as conservation is feeding a village, the carcass. That's not conservation.
Okay.
So
So the lines are still blurred here,
the lines are still blurred. Lions are still an endangered species.
which is
So it's
that's what's even worse. The fact that the lion is an endangered
It's an
species.
endangered species. So
Even
the
more so
positive
than the
thing-
rhino, I believe now, hey?
The positive thing that's come out of it, if you want to take something positive, is that it's actually highlighted the state of lions' endangerment. So I feel for this guy, but in actual fact, I'm like, I don't think this is a bad thing because the good that's come out of it is showing that hunting and does not equate to conservation.
Someone
and
had
the
to be the
plight of
martyr,
the
right?
lion is, yeah, he's
Yeah.
a martyr as far as I'm concerned. I have
Yes.
absolutely no feeling for him.
I feel bad for him because he's been hunting for years,
Mm.
and I just think that it was really, really bad timing, wrong place, wrong time.
The thing like with this, okay, is also with other, with the whole big thing. With the big situation, there's a rising tide of feminism that is growing. There's a rising tide of female voices demanding equal pay. And it's those things that you can look and go,
Trigger.
well, actually, it's now getting people talking about why that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Why that's not right. Whether it's the female the female pen that Beck designed, I don't know if you know about
Yeah, I
that
saw
one.
that, yeah.
Or if it's hunting and conservation. Is that
So
something
the clever thing for Big to have done would have gone
you
by,
can turn
that
it
is
around.
exactly why we have made the women, they should have, by like that afternoon, gone, we're so glad you're all talking about it. We wanted to tell you that we believe in women empowerment, that is the worst kind of statement to make. We released a range of big pink pins, which would have made sense, right?
And donated the proceeds of the funds to the Pink Drive.
Who would
That's
have
fantastic.
believed anything else had they thought on their feet? And like I said, you can't preempt. But when shit goes down, you need to regroup and go, how are we going to turn this around to be a positive? And they could have, eh? They could have turned that into such a cool campaign. I don't know if it happened by the time I got to you guys, but the AA last year posted a picture of a woman in the boot of a car in a wedding dress with handcuffs on and her newly husband, I'm assuming, standing next to the car. And said, caption this. That was all. There was no context before it. And we actually sent AA an entire strategy of how we would have handled the backlash because they deleted the post and they never acknowledged it. They were like, oh, it didn't happen.
But that just adds to the hype because it's like, oh, what was the post? And you go on Google. And
It's exactly Pick and Pay all over again.
So what they could have done was, we're so glad that they evoked emotion in you. With the AA, we don't ever want this to happen to you. Turn it around. Like, make it a positive. We did it with Ford.
Yeah.
You can.
Did the Ford campaign make it better? Not better, but did you see a positive feedback?
The people's comments changed, yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, especially after he acknowledged that we had spoken to him and it had been ironed out. And I mean, I think there was probably more damage done than good,
Yeah.
but we still managed to turn people around because people were like, well done Ford, like, great job, oh, we love this. The picture got retweeted a lot of times, and I think now if you go onto that, you don't even see his tweets. If you Google Ford and Jack Harrow, you see that picture, but you don't see his tweets and posts, which speaks volumes, eh?
I think it's just that with it owning what you've done
Yeah.
and then just making it.
So the quickest way to see something on imagery is like if you go Google and you click, it's got web video images. Click on images and you'll see the image feed that's connected to a subject. And that was the first thing we knew that we successfully turned the campaign around, was when that wasn't the first images coming up, where the response was the images coming up. That was good for us.
I honestly expected Nando's with the big campaign that happened.
To do something. They might still though.
I did expect something to come out. Usually they do it like within 20
Quick.
40
I think it
hours.
was a very sensitive topic, and I think with so much shit going down, they had so many things to choose from this week. Let's face it, Virgin Active.
Jeez,
What happened with Virgin?
Virgin Active, oh my god.
This week was a social media nightmare.
This
wasn't
week,
it?
I mean, this year,
Something
because
with
you know the people
stars.
we know in that community run these pages, eh? So we were like all supporting that guys, like, oh, because it's not
It's all scrambling.
the account that's responsible, right? The people doing, it's not always the company. Like, there's a lot of brands that outsource their social media. So Virgin Active, and again, I don't even know how many Twitter followers this guy's had. He didn't have a lot. Like, he had like maybe 600-700, but I might be under. Shay, do you know how many Twitter followers this guy had that tweeted Virgin Active?
The Mohammed guy
Yeah.
or the manager?
The Mohammed guy, the guy who got kicked out.
His name is Mohammed Desai, I think it is.
His Twitter followers probably like quadrupled,
That's
but he had little. I think he had like 600 or 700.
wasn't a lot.
It was nothing. And he tweeted saying, I've just been escorted out of Virgin Active Harton by police because of the shirt that I'm wearing. And he's wearing a Chris Hani shirt, but on the back it was
The BDS.
yeah, like I'm sure it offended quite a couple of people, but he tweeted it, and a can of worms was opened, and from there the news channels got wind of it. It's been all over the news as well, and then there were media houses like Virgin Active, and just like this week for social media has been terrible. Sorry?
What was the reasoning for kicking him out?
That a couple of the people gymming there complained, and they'd warned him before. They'd asked him to please not wear the shirts again because they had received complaints, and next time he'd be escorted. It was a Chris Hani in a BDS, but it had a picture of Chris Hani on the back. It said something like marching in solidarity with one of the Israeli states
The
or
back
something.
of the shirt was basically the date of the march that was taking place. It's a Free Palestine organization. They believe their terms Israeli apartheid against Palestinians. So it's mostly a Muslim-based group, but it's not entirely. It's all African-based. It's
Yeah.
people who are like not anti-Israel, but anti-Israeli occupancy. And they had a march, and the march was on the back. And it's an organization, BDS. I think it's Boycott and
Boycott something. I can't remember.
so I can't remember right now. And it said, had that on the front, the BDS on the front, and had a picture of Chris Hani. But there's various shirts that he's worn that with the hashtag Free Palestine. And he was training at Old Aids, which is predominantly Jewish people.
Yeah.
So people complained, and they asked him to take it off. The problem is that Virgin Active's policies do not state anything about the apparel you wear not being offensive to anybody. It just stated what you can't train in. Jeans, flip-flops.
Although, in the same light, they did say that if other members do find your behaviour or anything offensive, they do have the right to ask you to leave, which is garbage didn't think about. So I don't know what's happened with that Virgin Active thing, but I think
the
both parties.
interesting part with that, Lisa, was that the manager who escorted him out has had pro-Jewish, anti-Palestinian tweets on his own personal
Oh
feed.
wow.
So
could have been a
that's
personal
so they're saying that it was a personal issue.
Okay.
Even though complaints were lodged,
And
Black
there's a
people.
personal brand.
Yeah, there you go.
he's actually had they're quite the same as Justine Sacco kind of thing. This is worse. These are memes with rabbis and it's memes with Muslim people and bad
So
anti-Muslim things.
Okay.
So personal.
Personal
Who
brand.
knows?
Doesn't matter if 20 people complain, the fact that he's got those tweets on his timeline,
So
just
who
put
knows?
the nail in his own coffin. Okay. Okay, let's move away from the negativity then. Let's go into some positive
At this point,
stuff.
I'm like,
Next
I'm
week we better.
So it's been a
a
crisis in social media this week, but you know what? Learn from the lessons. Learn from the mistakes of others. That's the best way to do it. I mean, Big handled it completely wrong. Pick and Pay handled completely wrong. Virgin Active, they haven't responded to people individually, and they've been taking a lot of hate. But their tweet was, "We hear you, and we're investigating the matter. We do have a statement. Here's the link." Okay, that's all they put out. They don't have to do more. It's one Virgin Active. It's not the entire group. People aren't going to stop going to Virgin Active now because of the incident. People aren't going to stop buying big pens because of the incident. I may stop shopping at Pick and Pay after today because they banned me. No, I'm joking. Alright, let's go to something a little bit more fun. This is a very interesting video that I actually enjoyed. I think it's very interesting.
They send me the link.
I thought that was a really cool video. Okay, let's take another quick break. And then we're just going to go through what's your culture and telling the story, and then the slide on, we're just going to have a discussion about how to change the perception. So let's have like a 10-minute break, 15:15. 5-minute break maybe? It's easy to go to the loo.
Are we doing that?
Well, they haven't, I don't know, so I asked them.
But yeah, I think we'll but you've got some time.
Yeah.
Sorry. But like those people, she's actually, so basically told her this is happening. This time they're probably not expecting.
Must I ask them or must I tell them?
Are we still recording or are we still shooting?
I'll just keep looking at the blue lines there, above the batteries.
Someone to make a decisive like statement one way or the other before that one-ish, so they can tell their parents. But you can see that like the school kid and had his way if they haven't been told that they're like.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Is it still? Yeah, still recording.
Me with my exceptionally limited knowledge of social media, this one was 47 nights, I'm like so chucked with it.
On your personal one?
No, it's the use Casper stuff, the universe.
Yeah, but is it on your?
No, the universe. Yeah. We're trying to create it. That's pretty cool.
Just as an example, I tweeted that I was
Yeah.
nothing specific, just saying very so much happy, you know,
Yeah.
like 4 followers.
How many followers have you got?
Just from using a hashtag.
I don't know, let me look. 4,333.
Sure.
Social media
As
is
a-
I don't know why, apparently not picking pay. I don't know why these people follow me, dude. I've never tweeted them in my life. Okay, and I shop there. I'm an avid shopper.
Okay, Ben says so.
It could be the hashtags that you use, Josie. Digital marketing and social media. Yeah, the importance of hashtags, eh?
I've never used hashtags, I've no idea what to use.
This is cool. Learn about hashtags.
Is there an extension for it somewhere?
We'll do a session on putting an actual strategy together. Next time. We'll actually put a strategy together.
We're in the process of doing Casper West. He's that singer, he's trying to fill up the dome.
Okay.
So now we're helping him do it, and I'm trying to attempt to run this campaign. And I have no freaking clue what to do.
What kind of music? What is this demographic? What is this?
It's that dude.
Oh.
Rapper.
No, then he's totally like in the it's the emerging middle market. So
At the moment, I can't even, I mean, I've answered most of the comments that I can, but half of them I can't answer because it's not even in English.
when is his concert?
On the 31st of October.
Okay.
Casper.
And demographic young black.
Well, it's basically young, black, middle class.